It's an addiction. You get one, you want more.
Never really dawned on me that it'd be there forever.
Society perceives you when you got tattoos as being a gang member.
Imagine what they'll be like in 20 years.
In New Zealand, the tattoo has developed in a way unmatched anywhere else in the world, and it's now more popular than ever.
Hope Mum and Dad don't see me.
Tattooing has always been deeply engraved in the Māori and Pacific Island cultures, but nowadays this body art has found a much broader appeal. Thanks largely to improved technology and design, the trendy tattoo has become a sought-after fashion accessory. Ironically, this new technology's also led to ever-increasing queues for tattoo removal, but New Zealanders remain one of the most tattooed people in the world. Leading the way are young men in their early 20s.
Why I want a tattoo? Because they're so unique, they're individualistic to people that take their time to get the right one. No two tattoos look the same, so it doesn't matter if you walk down the street and someone's got the same one. And they're just like it's like an earring, it's like a body adornment, a bit of art, if you get a good one.
It's a statement saying, this is the sort of person that I am, this is the sort of thing that I like, this is the direction I'm sort of going in at the moment.
I suppose it would reflect my beliefs in the mystical world, a bit of a passion for the mystical world, a bit of a hope that there is a mystical world, even.
He's a cosmic sort of person. It's an individual choice.
But 22-year-old Gareth still has his day job as a legal assistant to consider. He has to make sure that his decision to get a tattoo is the right one.
It is permanent. Once it's there, you've got to go to great lengths to get rid of it. That's why you've got to go to such great lengths to make sure you really want what it is, and you choose your design very carefully.
What you do with your body once you're past a certain age really is your choice, isn't it? I mean, it's like driving your own bus or driving, you know, your own destiny, so to speak, whichever way you want to put it. But it's his body, it's his choice. I mean, I've had 4 children by caesarean, and my body's been marked by Mother Nature like you wouldn't believe, and I would much prefer, I mean, I have preferred to have something pretty put there.
Young people are attracted to tattoos partly because they're forever, and they think they know what it's going to be like for the rest of their lives. That's part of what it's like to be young. And they're thinking short term as well. I mean, if you're 18, then 22 seems like a long time down the track. By the time you've hit 40, you're beginning to realise that 60 isn't so far away.
I'm hoping I'll like it as much as the day I got it. But, you know, who can say? I might hate it.
40-year-old Ginny Shepherd got her first tattoos as a teenager. They read like a diary of her past, but it's not an easy past to be reminded of every day, and Ginny wants to move on.
No, don't hurt him. Come on, Green! Each one are for different things at different times, because it was like making a statement, but it was like because it was my body and it was something that I owned, that I could make a mark that I knew what it was for, you know, like all the different ones, the names of my brothers and sisters that I was close to, my mother that I missed, just all had different reasons and different stages in my life that I went through. And it was like getting a stamp, a mark to remember. We all lived as street children, really, in Wellington in the 70s, early 70s. And we'd, on boring days, just sit around and tattoo each other. And it was like, I suppose, families sit around and play games, or people go out together. And we sort of done it like, hobby. I had one close friend who's passed away now, Candleman. He tried talking me out of them and saying that they're going to hinder your work opportunities and society, you know, have trouble fitting in with different, and I just didn't care. I just didn't. Oh, so what? You know, was my attitude then. And now it's like, why didn't I listen? It wasn't until I had become a Christian that I sort of, oh wow, they don't look as cool as I thought they did. Well, the kingdom of heaven is like a landowner who went out early in the morning to hire labourers for his vineyard. When I meet people for the first time, I know that they're looking at my tattoos and I'm contemplating what they're going on in their mind, thinking, oh yeah, she's labelling me all these things and they don't even really know me. And that really offends me. But I have heard from some ladies at the church who'd confessed to me years later that when they first saw me, they were scared of me. And it shocked me. But it shocked me to wake up that that's how people really think.
Jerusalem, took the 12 disciples aside on the
Had a close friend who literally dug one out of her hand, and it just looked so horrible that I thought, no, I'm not that desperate. I want them off, but I'm not into digging them out of my flesh. And it left a horrible scar. And I thought, no, I don't want to do that. And I'd pray that the Lord would just take them. I believe in miracles happening.
I think the reason why tattoos cause so much social stigma is because of the associations that we have with them. If you think about a lot of people that are heavily tattooed often do come from groups that are traditionally antisocial, like perhaps gangs. We think of gang members as being heavily tattooed. And so we associate the tattoos with those negative groups, and so therefore they carry with them the stigma, whether or not the particular individual with the tattoo actually belongs to the original group that started us thinking along those lines.
36-year-old Carla feels stigmatised by the preconceptions she feels many people have about her day job. She believes a tattoo could help challenge that stereotype.
To be honest, when you're an accountant, people prejudge you anyway, but they prejudge you the other way. They all call you Beanie. They all think that you're really boring and incapable of having a good time. So you've already got a whole raft of preconceptions coming along. And usually the first thing they'll do is say, oh, she's a boring accountant. Oh my God, she's got a tattoo.
I thought that's totally not her. She's way too old to get a tattoo. and she's way too upper class, businessy. I just couldn't picture her at all with a tattoo.
My dad surprised my stepmother by coming home about 3 or 4 years ago with a tattoo on his forearm. It's about that big, and he had it done in Canada. But it was a Maori or sort of Pacific Island type design, very stylised of 2 hammerhead sharks. Looked really amazing. Quite an interesting one to explain in a meeting, I think, because he was relatively senior in his role, so quite how he did that one, I don't know. But he had hammerhead sharks because it symbolised something, and it was part of overcoming cancer and being strong and all of this sort of stuff, and he was really into it. So it was quite easy to say to Dad, I'd like to have a tattoo, because he already had one and he's cool about the whole idea, and he was just yeah, right, fine, that's that one sorted. Here you go, you can go here, here or here. I guess he was the final straw that made me think, yeah, even Dad thinks it's a good idea, so why would I not do it?
He would have thought it was great. He was all into body piercings and tattoos and anything that was...
No, he wasn't into body piercings. Didn't like them. He used to... Well, he didn't like mine.
He liked mine.
I'm in a reasonably senior position. I've got a team of 13 people working for me. So a tattoo's an unusual thing to do from that position, I think. So I wanted somewhere where I can show it off when I go out, but I can hide it and look the proper accountant when I'm at work.
Ginny's name has finally come up on the 2-year waiting list at the Mangere Community Health Trust. Here people can have their tattoos removed in return for a koha or donation.
It started in the early 90s when we had the perception that people were not able to get good jobs nor move through their job because they had tattoos that were visible. There was nothing wrong with the people nor their ability to do the job, but the reaction with other people just meant that they were not able to move through employment well. And that impacts directly upon people's health, it impacts upon the amount of money that goes into families, and that is a major issue in low socioeconomic areas.
So the ones that you're keen to get rid of?
That one first?
Yep. Yep.
Just all there and all there.
Yep.
Ginny's deliberately brought her young son Moses along in the hope that watching her laser treatment will leave a lasting impression.
For him just seeing what I was doing to try and undo the things I'd done when I was younger would definitely make him think twice about doing anything.
I'll give you a test shot for a start so you know what it feels like, and then we'll just go from there, okay?
Okay.
So what I'll get you to do, if you wouldn't mind, is just tighten your hand up into a fist for me. Great. I'll just do a little bit on the start here, okay? Just on 3. 1, 2, 3. Yep. You okay with that?
Yep.
Yeah, cool. Right, okay, we'll get started. Now look, if it gets too sore and you need a break, you just sing out and stop, okay?
Okay.
Just go as much as you can tolerate.
All right. Oh, wow, stop.
You alright? You okay?
Pretty much spend the first half of your life wanting a tattoo, spend a couple of hours actually getting it and wish you'd never even thought about it, then the rest of your life wanting another one. So the greater percentage of people, once they've got one, will get another one.
And some people start very young.
I was 16 and my mum was really upset my dad was going to pour battery acid on me. As you'd expect from any parent. It's probably all up about 75% of my body is tattooed. As to why, there's a lot of different reasons. I could try and make it really simple by saying my body is a temple and I'm merely painting the walls. It's a little bit deeper than that as well. It's an art form I love. I'll never own a Picasso, but I'll always own a Darren Watkins. No one can take that away from me. My tattoos are the only permanent thing in my life. I suppose I was like a lot of people who get their first tattoo. It was a really big, exciting moment for me. You see a lot of people out there and I was like that, you know, you rip the sleeve off your t-shirt over there so people can see your tattoo. As I've gotten more and they represent deeper and deeper and deeper parts of myself, different aspects of my personality coming out. If you know how to read my tattoos, I've got no secrets from anyone, so I keep my tattoos pretty well hidden.
I think his statement is saying this is the direction I'm sort of going in at the moment. We've got tattoos. 2 of my children out of 4 have. 3? Has Robert got one?
Yeah, all three.
All 3 of Christine's have. It's just, I suppose, the way of it, and he's just fitting in and doing his choice as well.
I've showed a rough design to a few of my friends to see what their reaction was. It was mixed, but mostly liked it, but all said that it was an individual choice, you know, you've really got to make your own mind up.
I prepared all that for you on paper, but I made a little stencil of it, so, you know, we won't take that long to draw it on. Just see if your baby fluff is all gone.
Gareth's tattoo will take about 2.5 hours to complete.
I mean, with 22, you still have a bit of baby fluff, haven't you?
Yeah. It'll set him back around $300.
Right? The work you see here, I mean, I shouldn't say that, but New Zealand is a little bit behind Europe in everything, but the tattoos are not as good as in Europe, because you have really, really good artists over there, and you see beautiful tattoos. And I'd like you to have a look in the mirror.
That's good.
If you like it, go a little bit closer, check it out. I like my customers to check it out proper, because once it's on there, you can't change it anymore, it's on there.
38-year-old Dennis is now regretting an impulsive decision made 19 years ago, getting the Grim Reaper tattooed on his forearm.
19 years ago, it was sort of, didn't have a lot of thought for the future. It was sort of live at the moment, sort of sex, drugs and rock and roll, I suppose, back then. I went over with my mates because he was getting one on his back. And we thought, oh, well, we might get one too, it's a few of us. And it was about the best one on the wall at the time, actually. So I didn't actually know what it meant, to tell you the truth. But it was better than getting a ship.
He was sort of going through a rebellious stage, wasn't he, at the time, and that.
He had a couple of upsets in his life at about that time, and we were away. And he had a few problems, and I suppose that was just one way of, I don't know, you know, he was a bit rebellious then.
Never really dawned on me that it'd be there forever, you know. It sounds stupid, but you just don't think about it when you're that age.
I got there expression that he was a bit embarrassed about it at times. So it will make a difference to him.
I don't think that getting it removed will change him as a person, but it might change the way some people look at him.
Some people, you can tell they prejudge you, you know. They see Mr. Death on your arm and think, well, you know, he's obviously been inside or something like that, to have that sort of tattoo on his arm.
Tattoo studios are no longer relegated to the back streets. They're big business and there's lots of competition. Carla can shop around to get exactly what she wants.
Can I help you guys?
Yeah, we're both thinking about having tattoos done. But small ones. Yeah, small ones, not big ones.
What I'll probably do is maybe get you guys like name and phone number, and I'll just write down what you want, and I can just, once I've drawn it, I can give you guys a ring.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, cool. Can you tell us about the sort of the hygiene stuff, like how you clean needles, sterilise it, all that sort of?
Normally spit on the needles. Yep, everything is all sterilised. New needles for every person.
Okay.
Everything is covered, every surface, bags, it's all autoclaved.
If a tattoo studio isn't hygienic, the client runs the risk of contracting anything from a minor infection to HIV.
Oh, I got hepatitis A through it, yeah, which was quite annoying because I had to leave work and got quite sick, couldn't drink anymore. It was a bit strange.
Hey boys, what are you watching?
Dinosaurs.
Oh, Littlefoot and his mates. It's just a one-off tattoo on my arm. It's in the wrong place, and really it's not me anymore. And my kids too. They'll say, "Oh, what's that tattoo about on your arm, Dad?" You know. Say, "Oh, that's Mr. Death." Oh, he's the person who comes and visits you when it's going to take you off to hell. Yeah, it's not really a great advertisement for your children.
I think in the long run it'll be better because his kids will get the idea that tattoos are stupid because you've got to get them taken off later on, and it's not worth the pain and the hassle and the price.
Concentration and the power of prayer helps Ginny through the agonising ordeal of tattoo removal. The laser feels like boiling fat. It works by shattering the ink in the skin so it can be absorbed by the body and excreted.
Really well. You okay there?
Yep.
Right, keep going there.
Go for it. Get them off. I'm thinking of, yep, they'll all be off. They're off.
Now, it may look like these tats are being zapped right off, but unfortunately for Ginny, it's not quite that easy. In fact, she'll be back 4 or 5 times before her tattoos are finally gone.
80% finished. Woo! 90% finished.
Oh, you do good telling me that.
100.
It's encouraging.
Good. Up here now, are you okay?
Yep.
Okay, 3 on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Ginny's treatment period may be shorter because her homemade tattoos are not as deep as those professionally done.
Oh, true.
You got to think of something smart to say though.
Like what?
I don't know. It's up to
Oh,
you.
it looks sore, Mum. Is it sore?
Or it looks good, or
Oh, it looks different.
I never want to get a tattoo now, Mum. That would be good.
We're not in the business just to remove tattoos because people have had a whim at some stage. They wanted them on. They know that they can get them off some stage down the line. This isn't a procedure that to be taken lightly. It's a painful process. It's often more painful than putting it on, and we just don't want to be in that business to do that for people. So I hope that they wouldn't make that choice. I think that would be an unwise thing to do.
24 hours, it'll start to come down.
Brings back memories, you know, of actually having them. But the pain, I couldn't believe it.
That was as dark as that. So there is something happening there. Hey,
yep.
See those? Not as good as my neck though. I'm not too sure why it seems to have a better effect up there.
Ginny.
On that.
Have you got no man?
We'll have to run for the Prime Minister's job once we get our tattoos taken. How's that?
I'll be treasurer.
Hey? You'll be treasurer? Oh, well, I'll be the Prime Minister then.
It wasn't what I thought it would be like, you know. I thought I'd go in there, have a treatment and come out and my arms would be all clean. Hello. And when I did come out, they were all swollen and I couldn't see any of the tattoos, and it was just, it was just amazing. I couldn't believe it because I'd never seen my arm like that in years.
I think society perceives you when you got tattoos as being a gang member or some sort of a criminal. But most of the people I know with tattoos all got jobs, families.
I think a lot of tattoo designs are quite aggressive, and they are, a lot of them are sort of daggers and skulls, and sometimes they're suggestive female forms, which I think is quite hard to see a man having some naked woman on his arm. That's quite a sexist statement at the end of the day. And they tend to be worn by people, or the perception is that they're worn by people who go around in leather jackets, have fights on Friday night, shave their hair, all this sort of stuff. But of course it's not true, because I've got colleagues at work who've got tattoos. It's just that if you're in a work shirt, you don't know that they've got a whopping great tattoo on their arm. You just never see it, but they've still got it.
When I meet new people, I want them to get to know me as a person, and if they see that I'm heavily tattooed, all they'll talk about once they break through, oh, she must be really tough and scary because she's got tattooed, is they want to talk about tattoos with me.
We see women that have tattoos as hard women, and so people don't want their children to marry somebody that's aggressive. They don't want to employ somebody that might, you know, start a fight in the workplace. So it's all those sort of symbolic connections that we make that put people off.
Why do bikers wear leather jackets instead of nice woolen cardigans?
Well, that'll probably never change. But the limited choice of tattoos 15 or 20 years ago have made way for a whole new style of body art. Improved technology and better design have helped popularise tattoos as a fashion statement.
These days you can get such beautiful, beautiful work, you know, like some people are just walking, living art. You know, if you want an old master reproduced on your back, it can be done. Whereas 15 years ago, you would have been hard-pressed to find an artist who could pull it off successfully.
The amount of people that are coming into the shop, looking at the walls, going, "Any, meeny, miny, mo, I'll have that one," are rapidly diminishing. Because of the advances in equipment, inks, and generally the majority of tattooists these days are actually artists.
It's really hard to make money out of being an artist alone, so the tattooing actually supports my mission in life of actually getting an exhibition into a gallery.
Good studios take pride in the quality, range and exclusive nature of their designs. Nowadays it's a big and lucrative part of the business.
I don't know exactly how long I spent drawing it up, but I was probably there for about an hour deciding what I wanted. One place I went to, they said it could be anywhere between 80 to 150, but it wasn't it was just one off the wall. You pick it off and you get it done, and every man and his dog's got one. So this one's different, so I'd pay more for it, for the reason that it's my own.
All our designs in here are one-offs because basically I believe that anybody that gets a tattoo should have their own individual tattoo. So we have a design service basically for that, and also we have designs on the wall that we've drawn ourselves, and when we've done them we put a sold sticker on them, and I don't do them again. Alright, I'll put a dressing on it for you and we're set to go.
Oh, that looks so cool. It looks better than I thought it would actually. It looks so good. Oh my god. Far out. Oh, that looks cool.
If they have a fair idea or a rough drawing of what they've got, all you've got to do is just add your own flair to it. Most people don't really know what they want, so you've got to sort of help them in that sort of, you know, thing.
I got a nickname of Tiger where I used to work in the UK because one night we went out and I had a good night and I made a bit of a beeline at a guy, and they said I was like a tiger in the grass pouncing on him and he was a helpless victim. And the name just stuck because it made such a good story. He was actually a willing participant, but it made a great story the next day.
So we're going to start in a minute, and I hope you had good breakfast because it's going to hurt a bit.
Not too bad, not too good either.
It is a very strong family thing that we don't like pain. I'm going to be very interested to actually see how he handled that pain factor, because he's not a pain person, as I'm not either.
Why it hurted more? It might just be my imagination or the spot, but that's the only sort of different intensity I've felt. Oh, and that bit there, what colour's that?
Purple.
Purple hurts.
When people see a tattoo, when they see a really good tattoo, right, they make actually the people that are tattooed a lot of compliments. You know, they go, "Oh wow, this is really cool. That's excellent," and which gives the person that is tattooed a lot of self-confidence and makes them feel happy and being wanted and makes them feel being somebody special.
Looking good.
Happy about that?
Yeah, man. That's great.
It's good because it's stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, we left a little bit of room because you wanted to add to it later on. You still want to add?
Oh, yeah.
Sure?
In a year, maybe, when I've forgotten that it really does hurt, yeah.
That Grim Reaper tattoo's going to hurt Dennis in his pocket. He's chosen the privately run laser cosmetics clinic to zap it off, but it's going to cost $200 a session, and he'll need several.
He never really told me that he was thinking about getting his tattoo removed. It was just all of a sudden one night he said, "I'm getting my tattoo removed." And the next day he was down in Auckland finding out about it. Dennis is pretty thick-skinned, so I don't think that it would have been anything external that made him think about getting it removed. It would have been more so how he felt about it personally.
Okay, how's that feel?
Yeah, like you said, a rubber band. Yeah, it's bearable.
Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just speed it up a little so that we can get on with it, and you'll get more of the same. So here we go now. How's it feeling? It's pretty uncomfortable after a while, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a bit, eh?
Some of the people that he associates with, you know, in the job and bosses and stuff like that, you get the impression that people are trying to look at his arm to see the tattoo rather than look at the person. By having it removed, it takes away that embarrassment, more or less. So, yeah, I think it will give him more confidence.
That's quite a long process, eh?
It is, you know, but this sort of ink goes really well, and I expect we'll get good results. I'm just going to make the machine not live, so you can take those specs off now and have a look.
Help.
And as you can see, there's been a lot of reaction going on. Now, this whiteness will settle down over the next... It's already settling in the last 5 minutes, but in the next hour it'll disappear. The colour will come back through, it'll look a little red and puffy.
Yeah.
And a week out from now, it'll look pretty much as it did before treatment, and that's normal, okay? But what will have happened at a microscopic level is that the pigment will have broken up into very small fragments that the body can then start to absorb through its lymphatic system. This is a normal response, good first treatment, and we'll be hoping for some fading over the 6 weeks.
Great. Hiya.
When I first noticed what it actually was, I thought to myself, why on earth did you get the Grim Reaper of all things to get on your arm? Why did you choose the Grim Reaper? But the person that he was then is not the person that he is now.
Right. Should we get going?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay then.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Ready?
Yep.
Just relax.
Because I'm a cat scratching.
That's all it is, man.
Just a cat scratching you.
Get some people that get too psyched up. So it's not as bad as what you expected.
No.
And because they're so worked up already before they start the tattoo, once they start getting it, they just turn into a big mess, you know. End up passing out or getting dizzy or, you know.
And the more it hurts, the more you've got to relax. The last thing that you want to do when it starts hurting is tense up and start holding your breath and breathing shallow, which is what you want to do when you're in a lot of pain. The more you can relax, the better.
I was going to get irritated by the time he's finished because it's, by now I'd have thrown the cat out of the room, but... Yeah.
throw me out there every start.
Half a tiger.
The more heavily tattooed a woman is, the more, you know, she's a staunch bitch people will perceive the person as, which I don't think necessarily is true at all. You know, just because I've endured a lot of pain doesn't mean that I'm staunch and tough at all. It just means that I really wanted to finish artwork, so I found various ways to cope with the pain. Not all of them successful.
Yeah, I've had quite a few people pass out.
What do you do to them?
You can't do much because they lose all bodily function. Straight up. Women handle it pretty good actually, eh? Not very many of them sort of squirm off. One guy we thought he'd actually blown his load in his pants. Yeah, one guy shit himself. They spit and vomit. You get some hardcore stuff. That's it. I'll just clean you up.
Oh, cool.
You can have a nose.
Excellent. What if I don't like it?
Still shit.
It's now 9 weeks since Dennis started his laser treatment, and in that time he's had 2 sessions.
And there you go. Oh, it's coming along good. Yeah, it's fading well. Can't really make it out now. Originally, I thought 1 session and it'll be gone, but it doesn't work like that. So, but yeah, for something that costs $25, and I'm looking at $1,000 to $1,200, it's something to think about before you get one in the beginning. Had enough in that load? Did we empty it?
Yep.
It's time for Jenny to steel herself for session number 2.
Dreaded this moment for 6 weeks. Oh, that's right. It sounds strange, doesn't it? You know, you go through all this trouble to get them off, and then you think, I might actually miss them a little bit. They're your identity, like, you know. It's what you use to identify yourself when you were at that age lost. And now when you've sort of found yourself, it's time to wash them off. But the pain, I will not forget the pain. Oh, it's over. 6 weeks.
Yep.
While small one-off designs are the tattooist's bread and butter, their range of skills are really tested on the big jobs. The more intricate and artistically challenging, the better.
So far I've probably spent about 6 hours all told with the underside as well. Yeah, a bit more than what I thought. It's always good to just work on a big piece, you know. Good projects, cool.
As works of art, tattoos are often exhibited, put on show in competitions.
They're really happy with what they've got and they want to show everyone else basically, if you know, and the chance of winning a trophy for it. If somebody wins a trophy for a tattoo that they've got, it gives them a huge rush, you know. That's it, mate.
Cool.
You can't get your hopes up too high. It's very tough competition out there. There's some brilliant artists, you know.
And what better way to advertise than in the flesh?
Your name is behind that tattoo, and when that person wins a trophy for the tattoo you've done, people go, oh, he did this, you know, and it just carries on from there. People like to get tattooed from people that have won.
Tattoo fans see themselves simply as enthusiasts, no different in that respect from opera buffs, stamp collectors or cat lovers.
You know, you're meeting all sorts of different people with the same interests. You have a look at new work, different ideas, so you get more ideas for tattooing yourself.
Most of the people I socialise with do have tattoos. There's not many that don't. I don't know why, but I mean, even the people, some of them I know just have one very small one. I mean, that's fine. I'm not prejudiced against people that don't have them.
I think there is a traditional link between tattoos and more working class people. You wouldn't tend to see your doctors and lawyers and so on sort of parading tattoos, whereas you might see people working on a construction site parading tattoos, which may be just because they've got their arms exposed, but there is that connection between sort of working class and tattoos.
When you get a tattoo, it does seem you become part of a club. On competition day, everyone finds it hard to resist getting caught up in the atmosphere. Even freshly tattooed and slightly self-conscious Samantha overcomes her reserve and enters into the swing of things.
I didn't intend on entering. I sort of did it. As I walked in the door, they said, "Oh, you should enter, blah, blah." And I was like, no. They said, well, why not? So I did. I did it for a laugh, actually. And it was fun. I was surprised that I got somewhere, but it sounds silly, but I wasn't shocked because I thought it was quite a good design. I think it deserved to get placed.
But even more than the approval of her new club mates, Samantha feels she has something to prove to her son.
And I wanted Darcy to come along so he could see that other people have tattoos and that I'm not like a freak or something like that. I just want him to see that other people have them. Other females as well, not just guys, you know.
Gareth's now a fully paid up member of the tattoo club. He wastes no time in showing his mates what he's done.
It's all been quite positive. People have sort of stopped me on the street and said, "Joyce Tat," and stuff like that, which is quite good. But I mean, you know, who cares what other people think?
Actually, I do like that. The lines on the glove.
Oh no, it's pretty good when people sort of notice it and appreciate it.
Was it just tattoos or just fiction?
Nah, just tattoos.
With the ink barely dry, Gareth's already planning more work to enhance his new look.
Just sort of want it to even up around here a little bit. I think it just looks a little bit sort of missing a little bit under here. A little bit more work done, maybe a little bit more haze just to even up this sort of galaxy stuff around there. It's just a bit plain and cut off there.
Maybe he's hooked.
There is this rule of thumb that they reckon that you can't stop at 1, but you can stop at 2.
It's a balance thing.
I don't know whether it's a balance thing or whether it's, I handled that, I wonder if I can do it again. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Oh, cheers. Okay, here we go, girls. Good health. Cheers. Cheers. I've always enjoyed not reflecting the expected norm on things. It's just part of what I am. I can just never telling my mother.
Sorry. Do we get to see it?
Yeah, you can see it if you like. You ready for this?
All right, okay.
Because Joe hasn't seen it, but I work with a really good crowd of people. Somewhere where you fit and they take you as you are. So they're very laid back about it.
There you go. Oh, wow. Oh, it's very nice.
It's quite cute.
I think it's he.
Is it a he? There's one gentleman who sort of, oh, my daughters did that. I don't quite know what I'd do. I think, well, you know, now if they ever do, you'll probably be a bit more laid back about it because you know that it's okay, really.
You named him?
No.
No. Not is he tamed you?
And you've got to have an element of common sense in doing this sort of thing. It's still not entirely acceptable. I imagine that in 10 or 15 years' time it will be. I remember when I first wore trousers to work and they had a fit and checked the HR manual to see if that was acceptable, whereas now women wear trousers to work all the time. So probably 10, 20 years' time nobody will think about it, but for now I guess I'm quite comfortable with where I've put it.
Dennis still needs another 4 or 5 laser treatment sessions, $200 a pop, before his Grim Reaper tattoo's finally dead and buried.
My attitude to tattoos actually hasn't changed. It's just, I guess, my own personal growth and the type of tattoo, what it is and where it is. If it was here, I'd probably leave it. But I don't really want my children to find out what it is and think Dad's a dickhead. So by having a Grim Reaper on his arm, so that's a big thing for wanting it to get removed. But I mean, tattoos are fine in my mind. I might even get another one.
I'd cringe if he ever got a love heart with my name on it.
Ginny will also need several more laser sessions on her hands and arms. Although it's taken a lot longer than she thought, the whole process has given her time to get used to losing something that was so much part of her.
In the beginning I thought they would instantly go, just like that. But go and have a treatment, come out, they'd be gone. But through treatments every 6 weeks, they're actually fading, and so it's like a cutting off period. It's sort of like a weaning off. I think I notice it more than anybody because they're on me. But even for my family and that, they notice that they're fading, but it's no big thing like, oh wow, your tattoos are fading, you know? And I think the same is for the day that they're gone. It's not going to be a big celebration that everybody will, wow, Ginny's got no tattoos anymore. You know, I just don't think it'll be like that. I think it'll just be another day, another...
One of the very important things is that we need to look at what's happened that morning to help you cope with that situation.
Her tattoos almost consigned to the past, Ginny's looking to the future. She's launching a new career with a social services course at Northland Polytechnic.
Express their anger and agreeing with them.
Okay. Now,
I took the course because I want to eventually work with ex-prisoners, and I'd love to get into the chaplaincy area within the prison. And I know that I need to get educated and learn how to deal with the situation from society's point of view, I suppose.
You're going to look at safety issues, okay? And the types of de-escalating verbal and non-verbal communication.
And what of the price Ginny has had to pay to gain what she feels is society's acceptance?
I take total responsibility. That's my consequences of me. I mean, and the pain, I've been through worse pain. And it's 10 minutes, I've timed it, both arms, legs, 10 minutes. And I mean, 10 minutes, I'm not going to forget it, the pain, the intensity of it, but it's nothing, I don't blame anybody for it, you know. I haven't got any regrets for the pain. I mean, it's mine, I own it, and it's something I can live with.
6 weeks after getting his first tattoo, Gareth is back for more.
Feel that one all the way down on my calf. I don't see myself as this being the last tattoo, but I'd have to make sure I find another design that I really like before could be 10 years, it could be next month.
I'm doing it on purpose.
Yeah, I can tell.
Most of the young people get tattoos these days, and when they grow up and become a boss or have their own company and employ people, I think their tattoos will be very accepted. And I think in the next, say, in 20 years' time, I think everybody will have tattoos. So.
That's excellent. There's still plenty of room there.
Although they can now be removed, it seems that tattoos as fashion statements are here to stay. But will basic attitudes towards them really change?
A lot of the diehard in the past would have stood there and swore black and blue at you that it's a sign of the devil, are now prepared to sort of stand there and actually have a conversation with you over the pros and cons of tattoos.
I very much doubt that you'll see tattoos ever accepted generally in mainstream New Zealand society.
It was faded more.
They look good.
So that one.
No, that one's not. Okay, can you guys excuse me? I've got work to do. Should we go on?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I can't really see the pink. As in.
I nearly died when she got it out. It's dazzled.
Did she? Does it glow in the dark though?
Stupid looking thing. A Grim Reaper. Yeah. Could have thought of something better. There's a bit on the wall, I thought.
It looks stuck on, I think. It looks kind of fake.
This program was made with funding from New Zealand On Air.